Good evening. I'd like to call the Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, April 15th, 2025 to order. Will the city call the roll, please?
Ms. Defoe.
Here.
Mr. Friedman.
Here.
Mr. Rogers. Ms. Libet.
Present.
Mr. Jenkins.
Present.
Mr. Havas. Madam Chairperson, you have a quorum to conduct business.
Thank you. Are there any communications?
None at this time.
Okay, so we will move into the public hearing. For those of you who haven't joined us before, let me briefly describe how we conduct business. The city will call the case by the case number. They'll read a brief description of the case. We ask the appellant to step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. There's also a sign-in sheet to sign in as well, and explain to the board what you're asking for and why. Then the city will read findings of fact. We'll ask you to agree with those facts or add any other facts at that time. Then the city will make a recommendation. You'll have an opportunity to speak again after they make the recommendation. Then we'll open it to public comment on your case. So if you're here to speak on public comment, that would be your opportunity to step forward. Then we will turn it over to the board to deliberate and make a decision, and then we'll move on to the next case. So will the city call the first case, please?
Case number 2510. The appellant, Chris Karate, Aver Sign Company, representing the owner, Tiffany Buell, Buell's Superior Fence, is requesting the following waiver from the board. A waiver to install a wall sign not facing a major thoroughfare. 1 proposed, 0 permitted, a variance of 1. The property is located on the north side of West 8 Mile Road between Delaware Street and Van Buren Street at 26650 West 8 Mile Road, Sidwell parcel number 762431377045, zoned I-1 Industrial District. This appeal is to Chapter 99, Article 12, Section 8.61, 1B, more commonly known as the sign ordinance.
Thank you. Is the appellant here? Yes. Please step to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, please.
My personal address or business?
It can be business address.
Okay. My name is Chris Karate. I'm here representing Aver Sign Company. Sorry. The address is 1285 Wordsworth Street in Ferndale, Michigan, 48220.
Great. Thank you. And can you explain to the board what you're asking for and why?
Yes, we are requesting that a second sign be allowed to be added to the building facade, the side of the building. It's basically it's to take the place of a main road sign. Other businesses along the same stretch that are similar size have similar type sign output where they have one sign on the front, one on the side. Rather than dig a foundation, have to run power to a new sign would be quite expensive and intrusive. Not to mention less safe, because now you have a sign on the side of the road, whereas this one is mounted on the side of the building. It's just so that people coming down 8 Mile Road can see the building before they miss the parking lot and can turn in. There are 3 addresses at this location. The building has at least 80 feet of frontage on the front and the sides. It's at least 25 feet high, so it's not a large sign and it's not overly obtrusive. It's not facing any residences. It's not overly bright. It's not too large. We just ask that it be allowed so that we can, that business can compete with other businesses on the street similarly signed.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
The appellant, Chris Karate, Aver Sign Company, representing the owner, Tiffany Buell, Buell's Superior Fence, is requesting the following waiver from the board. A waiver to install a wall sign not facing a major thoroughfare. 1 proposed, 0 permitted, a variance of 1. The property is located on the north side of West 8 Mile Road between Delaware Street and Van Buren Street at 26650 West 8 Mile Road, Sidwell parcel number 762431377045, zoned I-1 Industrial District. This appeal is to Chapter 99, Article 12, Section 8.61, 1B, more commonly known as the sign ordinance. The properties to the north are zoned R1, single-family residential, and are part of the Thomas Hitchman's subdivision. This residential subdivision is comprised of mostly legal conforming or legal non-conforming single-family residential structures. Most of the homes are single-story residential structures. There are a few two-story residential structures scattered throughout the subdivision. Approximately half of these residential structures have attached garages, and approximately half have detached garages. A few of these residential properties do not have a garage. The properties to the south are located at the south side of 8 Mile Road and are part of Redford Township. There is an existing restaurant deli located directly south of the subject property. The properties to the east are zoned B3 General Business and I-1 Industrial District. The B3 General Business property is immediately east of the subject property, and there is an existing single-story auto repair shop business. The building appears to be built on a diagonal, and the front of this structure appears to face southeast. There is also a single-story residential structure built in 1972 with a detached garage that is located within the I-1 Industrial District. This residential structure is located immediately north of the auto repair shop. The properties to the west are zoned B3 General Business. There's an existing single-story business attached at the west side of the subject building and a banquet hall immediately further to the west. There is also an existing single-story residential structure built in 1972 north of the banquet hall and within the B3 General Business District. The subject property is zoned I-1 Industrial District and is the present location of Buell's Superior Fence. The subject property was built in 1969, and there is an approximately 7,476 square foot single-story structure located at 26650 West 8 Mile Road. There is an existing wall sign affixed to the major thoroughfare side, 8 Mile Road, of the structure. The subject property tenant frontage is approximately 87 linear feet. The east side of the building is approximately 84 linear feet. The proposed wall sign is approximately 30 square feet.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
Yes.
Are there any other facts you'd like to add at this time?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Will the city read the recommendation, please?
Staff recommendation is for favorable consideration for a waiver to install a wall sign not facing a major thoroughfare, 1 proposed, 0 permitted, a variance of 1, with the following conditions. The appellant secures all the required permits and inspections, receive final approval from the City of Southfield Building Department. This recommendation is based upon the following. Due to extraordinary or exceptional conditions of the property on which the sign is proposed, and the strict application of the regulations would result in practical difficulties to or undue hardship upon the owner of such property, provided such relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without substantially impairing the intent and purpose of this chapter, and that the proposed sign is consistent with the spirit and intent of this chapter and the regulations which apply to the zoning district, and that the proposed sign is in keeping with the character of the surrounding area and should not have an adverse or detrimental effect upon adjacent or surrounding properties, and that the proposed sign will not interfere with or be objectionable from the standpoint of traffic safety, and the proposed sign would improve building identification visibility before passing the parking lot entrance, which is located at the east side of the property, and the adjacent property's wall sign faces southeast and not towards the major thoroughfare, 8 Mile Road. And there is an additional wall sign facing east towards oncoming traffic at another property in the area, V09-0002, most likely to improve building identification visibility and to help prevent driving past the property.
Great, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add before we open public comment?
No.
Okay.
So.
So we will open public comment on this case. If you are here to speak to this case, now would be your opportunity to come forward. Seeing none, we'll close public comment and turn it over to the board. Mr. Friedman?
I have no issues with it.
Mr. Jenkins?
Well, as a matter of fact, I like it.
Okay.
I'm in favor of it. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Libet?
I have no problem.
Okay, I agree. I think it's a minor request and am happy to approve. Mr. Friedman, will you make a motion for us?
Sure, this is 25.
10, yeah.
With regard
regard to case 25-10, the appellant Chris Coretti of Avery Sign Company, representing the owner Tiffany Buell, is recommending the following waiver from the board: a waiver to install a wall sign not facing a major thoroughfare, 1 proposed, 0 permitted, variance of 1. The property is located in the north side of West 8 Mile Road between Delaware Street and Van Buren Street at 26650 West 8 Mile Road, Sidwell parcel 762431377045, zoned I-1 Industrial District. I move that we grant the waiver to install a wall sign not facing a major thoroughfare, with the condition that the appellants secure all required permits and inspections from the City of Southfield Building Department, and I base the recommendation of that the extraordinary and exceptional conditions of the property, which it would be an undue ownership, would be an undue hardship on the owner, if we were to deny this sign, and this sign's consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning regulation, and it will not interfere with or be objectionable from the standpoint of traffic safety, and would help building identification and visibility.
Great, thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Your request is granted. Again, just continue to work with the building department.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Will the city call the next case, please?
Case number 25-09. The appellant, Glenn DeSimone, architect, representing Racaco Development LLC, owner, is requesting the following variance from the board: a variance of 5 feet 0 inches of building height, 25 feet permitted, 30 feet 0 inches proposed. The property is located on the north side of Northwestern Highway between Franklin and Inkster Roads at 29410 Northwestern Highway, Sidwell parcel number 2407-326-009, zoned B3, general business. This appeal is to Section 5.194, Article 22, Chapter 45 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the zoning ordinance.
Great, thank you. Can I just ask one clarification? And the agenda says this is a variance of building height, but I think it's a setback? I feel like there's a discrepancy between the request.
I'll let him clarify.
No, you're correct, it is the setback.
It's a setback?
Yep.
Okay, so I just think that the agenda was incorrect, and sometimes we make a statement that this is different than what was on the agenda. Okay, sorry. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
If you could state your name and address for the
Certainly.
record,
My
please.
name is Glenn DeSimone. I'm with Prime Design Systems. We're out of Warren, 2397 Old Kent. Again, I'm here representing the future cigar club project on the old Baco site. As you may remember, Baco was there, and there were other tenants to the north, all part of a rather old structure of multiple roofs and configurations. Our proposal is to build basically in that same footprint. We are no closer to the western property line than a portion of the old building was. We are a little closer to the east property line than the other building was, but nothing substantial. The height of the old building at the absolute high peak was higher than what we're proposing, and the peak closest to the west property line was a few inches higher than what we were proposing. As you referenced briefly there, the issue is a combination of side yard setback and height. Because of our proximity, actually this zone has a 0 side yard setback requirement. However, if you're within some certain number that I don't remember, you are only limited to the 25-foot height. That triggers the waiver of the 30-foot height that we're requesting because of our proximity to the western property line. But again, the zone is a 0 setback. So it's not really a setback variance as much as it is a waiver for the height.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
Yes, ma'am. The appellate, Glenn DeSimone, architect, representing Racaco Development LLC, owner, is requesting the following variance from the board: a variance of 21 feet, 5 inches of side yard setback, 37 feet, 8 inches required, 16 feet, 3 inches proposed. The property is located on the north side of Northwestern Highway between Franklin and Inkster Roads at 29410 Northwestern Highway, Sidwell parcel 2407-326-009, Zone B3 General Business. The existing site was previously approved for restaurant use, currently approved for restaurant and private club with smoking lounge and bar lounge use. The property to the north is zoned R2, single-family residential. The property to the south, across from Northwestern Highway, is zoned B3, general business, and is developed with a medical office building. The property to the east is split zone B3, general business, and R2, residential, and is developed with the Franklin Athletic Club. The property to the west is zone B3, general business, and is developed with an office building. The area of the proposed restaurant and private club with smoking lounge and bar lounge uses consists of 1.57 acres of land with 157 feet of frontage on Northwestern Highway and a depth of approximately 602 feet. Due to the property's shape, this project does not meet the setback requirement from the western property line. This is due to an ordinance requiring a calculated side yard setback when a building's height exceeds 25 feet. The height of the building to the roof deck is 26 feet, 1 foot higher than the required height for no required setback. Due to the change in use from restaurant to private club and restaurant with smoking lounge and bar lounge uses, the property required the demolition of the existing building and the construction of a new building. The property is contiguous to B3 property to the east and west, and the B3 district is typically used to provide sites for diversified businesses and located adjacent to high-volume major thoroughfares. The building had existed at 28-foot height since approximately 1971, when the building was originally constructed.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
Yes,
Okay, are there any other facts you'd like to add?
not that I can think of.
Okay.
The reason we tore the old building down, again, it was wood construction, and there was difficulty getting that approved by the insurance company for a cigar club type operation. So it's going to be a non-combustible construction.
Oh, okay, thank you. Will the city read the recommendation, please?
Yes, ma'am. Staff recommendation is favorable consideration based upon the following. The setback variance requested is not expected to have adverse effects on the surrounding properties. Because the building had existed at 28 feet in height for over 54 years, the impact on the open space or light for neighboring properties will remain unchanged. The setback variance is needed due to the construction of the building and the placement of the building equipment. Due to the height of the roof deck, the height of the overall building is 26 feet. In the B3 General Business District, a side yard setback is not required when the building does not exceed 25 feet. However, if the building does exceed 25 feet, a required setback is calculated based on the building's height and other factors. Generally, the B3 General Business District has unlimited building height requirements.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add before we open public comment?
One minor point is, again, he's reading to the roof deck, but our parapet is at 30 feet. The top, especially at the white entry that you see on that rendering.
The city doesn't include the parapet when considering the height.
I understand, but at the entry, which is not a parapet, that is 30 feet high.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we will open public comment on this case. If there's anyone here to speak to this case, now is your opportunity to step forward. All right, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Ms. Levitt, your thoughts?
I have no problem with it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Friedman?
I have no issues. Building looks good. Neighbors aren't here to complain about the side yard setback or the height of the building, so no issues.
Okay, Mr. Jenkins?
Through the chair, I think it's a favorable approach to what they're doing. I'm all in favor.
Okay, thank you. I also think it's a very nice design, and we'll add to that area. And, you know, certainly when we saw Baco demolished, it was like, what's happening? So glad to see there's something being developed on that property. So, Ms. Libet, will you make a motion for us?
I will. If I can get my throat clear. Regarding case number 25-09, the appellant Gleam Desimone, architect representing Rayco Development LLC, owner, is requesting the following variance. The property is located on the north side of Northwestern Highway between Franklin and Inkster Roads at 29410 Northwestern Highway, Sidwell, parcel number 2407, 326009, Zone B3, General Business. And I would move that the variance of 21.5 inches of the side yard setback, 37.8 required, 16 feet 3 inches proposed, be approved. Favorable consideration is based on the setback variance requested is not expected to have adverse effects on the surrounding properties because the building has existed at 28 feet in height for over 54 years. The impact on the open space or light for neighboring properties will remain unchanged. Also, the setback variance is needed due to the construction of the building and the placement of the building equipment. Due to the height of the roof deck, the height of the overall building is 26 feet. In the B3 General Business District, a side yard setback is not required when the building does not exceed 25 feet. However, if the building does exceed 25 feet, a required setback is calculated based on the building's height and other factors. Generally, the B3 General Business District has unlimited building height requirements. I move acceptance of the proposed side yard setback, the variance of
Thank
the
you.
side yard setback.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Your request is granted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night. So that closes our public hearing. We do not have any minutes to review. Looks like our next meeting is scheduled for May 6th. We have 3 cases before us, 1 fence variance and 2 sign variances. And so mark that on your calendars to be here on May 6th. Anyone have any miscellaneous? Yes, Nicole.
I just wanted to remind everybody, you still have a few days to sign up for the ZBA training that I emailed out. I believe you have until this Friday at noon to sign up, and the course is on the 29th of this month. As a reminder, you are required 2 hours of continuing education, and this is a 3-hour class, so that would actually satisfy that requirement.
All right, thank you. I am signed up. Anybody else comes?
I have signed
Okay,
up.
Great. Okay, so I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.